Would you like to know my top 10 money success habits every busy professional needs to know? This is Dr. Shannon Tran, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 of my 10 top money success habits every professional needs to know. And I've been studying personal finance for years and love talking about money and helping people make money, work less, and have the time to enjoy their money. And money really touches every area of our lives. And with any person I've talked to, whatever their goal may be, they're often wanting to work on improving their relationship with money. And so if you've ever struggled with money or had difficulty in knowing how to invest your money wisely or make sure that you were really at peace with money, these tips will definitely help you. So let's get straight to it. Tip number 1 is the tried and true tip, of course, and that's pay yourself first. So a lot of times we make money available to our bills or to our responsibility or to people we owe. And while that's important, if you don't learn to pay yourself first, you will often neglect your financial needs. And so it's really important that you learn to pay yourself first by putting money aside for you automatically. And so that money simply just goes to the side. It's something that you don't have to worry about, and you make it automatic. And of course, most financial advisors usually recommend at least 10% of your total income goes to paying yourself first. So you put in a separate account, you make it automatic, and that is a really foundational success habit in order to be able to grow your money and have money be there whenever you need it. Tip number 2 is it's really important to create an emergency fund. And what happens when we don't create an emergency fund and we're constantly living to paycheck to paycheck, it puts unnecessary stress on us and anxiety, and then we start to get into panic and overwhelm, and that decreases our ability to make good decisions. And Dave Ramsey, if you've ever followed his financial advice before, he talks about having just a certain amount of financial money set aside for an emergency fund. And it could be a minimum of $1,000 or up to 3 months, but just create an emergency fund with that intention. And in a sense, it almost serves as like a psychological protection, right? Because the money is put aside for small emergencies, like an unexpected medical bill or an unexpected need for your kids or an unexpected car repair. And when you have that money there, you start to feel more secure and relaxed about money, and you're not in a state of panic. Tip number 3 is to really be careful and think through your purchases. So we all know that we buy with emotion and justify with logic. So just be really aware of what are your spending habits. How do you spend money? How do you make financial decisions? And just plan for that, right? Plan to be aware of how what are you going through when you're making purchases? Are they impulsive, or have you really thought about what the purchase can do for you? So I really get into the habit of thinking about what I believe this purchase can do for me, and how can this purchase add to my life. And so it helps me just check my emotional state and really be aware of where I'm coming from emotionally before I make any purchases, so that my purchases are really in alignment with my goals, and they support my goals, and they also support my ability to be financially healthy. So really check how you make your purchases. Tip number 4 is tell your money where to go. So this involves really having clarity about your top 5 values and making sure that how you spend your money reflects your values, right? When you can tell your money where to go, you're already feeling powerful. You're feeling like you're winning the money game when you can begin to tell your money where to go. And I have to tell you how exciting that is when you can tell your money where to go. So once I really got clear about my priorities and made sure that my spending reflected that, it was really wonderful, and it felt so fulfilling when I can put my money towards my kids' college fund or towards money to help support my favorite charities like Donor Choose or UNICEF. And so you really want to work on getting in the habit of you commanding your money and telling your money where to go, so that you're spending your money on things that are the most important to you, that give you the most fulfillment and value in your life. Okay, finally, tip number 5. And this tip, a lot of people shy away from, but it's really powerful, and that is follow a spending plan. Now, you notice I didn't say the word budget because people don't like budget, but people do spend their money. And so follow your spending plan, right? Whenever you're following a plan, whether it's a diet plan or a plan for a goal or a plan to get to a destination like a vacation, when you follow a plan, you increase your chances of success. Same thing with money. So really map out what are all of your expenses and how do you want to spend your money. Again, this one goes to tip number 4, but really when you start to follow a spending plan, you'll find that you're taking charge of your money because you're knowing where your money is going. So here's a perfect example. Before I implemented my spending plan, I just didn't know where my money went. And I was kind of in denial. Maybe you've had that experience before. And when I sat down with my budget coach, what she helped me realize is that $1,200 a month was going to restaurants because I don't like to cook. And it wasn't until I saw that amount on a piece of paper and held it in my hand and actually saw just how much money I was spending on food because I didn't want to cook, woke me up. And it really got me to realize how I was mismanaging my money, and I really wasn't spending my money wisely because there were other things I could have been spending my money on. Like, I would much rather have used that money to go on a vacation with my family, or take a class, or make a donation somewhere. And so when I saw that on paper and I started to follow a budget, what I then did was started to make a decision in advance how much money I was going to spend on going out to restaurants. And I was able to cut it down substantially, right? Substantially. Because quite honestly, spending half of my mortgage on going on restaurants was not like the amount of my mortgage, but spending that much money was absurd. And so it really allowed me to have more freedom in how I was spending my money, and actually learned to make cooking a lot easier for me. I learned to cook a little more and delegate cooking and ask for help. And then when I did go out to restaurants and spend my money on restaurants, I was a lot more mindful of it. I wasn't just wasting it on silly purchases. I was much more smart about how I was going to spend my money in restaurants. So those are my 5 of the 10 top money success habits. If you would like to learn my other 5, you can reach out to me at support@ShannonTran. I would love to send them to you. I have them all on a worksheet so that you can really apply them in your life and see the difference it makes for you when you are in control of your money. You'll have peace in your relationship with money, right? And as the saying goes, where you are anywhere is where you are everywhere. So when you really start to feel successful in your ability to manage money and to really take charge of your relationship with money and have a much healthier experience with it, you'll be more successful in all areas of your life because money touches all areas. And once you win the money game, you can start to relax and really look at how you live your life, and perhaps you can cut back on hours at work and work a little less and spend more time with family. And all of that is because you're putting money in its proper place. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'd love to hear your comments, and if you have money tips on what you do to be successful in your relationship with money, I'd love to hear about them. And if you would like to get all 10 tips, you can reach out to me at support@ShannonTranPhD.com, and I would love to send you all 10 tips. Right, have a great day.